Petra. Klein, my organization's name is House of the Open Doors with the project Smarts Up. We work with young people in the age from 6 to 35 and their families. And we have youth workers responsible for the leisure time and educational things like sports. But our main focus is on young people with fewer opportunities in the age from 16 up to 35. And there we have the focus on the transition from school to labor market, plus the integration into society. This is the so-called House of the Open Doors, and we do have many network with all kinds of organizations. And one of the organizations is the Youth Migrant Service and the Migrant Service, plus the Refugee Service. And they have rooms in our house where they counsel the people the refugees or the migrants can come up and have, if they have questions about the statute of residence or the educational thing. And that's how we identified that we should get into it, because there are many young people right now here in our little small town that don't know what to do because they're not allowed to go to work and they just hang around. So now they're in our house, so we decided let's get in contact and see what we can do. So now this is the room where we have small meetings with our network partners or with the youngsters. This is when we went to Bulgaria with the young adults. There are also refugees on there. Oh, it's closed. House of the Open Doors, every door is closed. So this is one of our kitchens where we cook with the migrants, the refugees, and everybody who wants to cook with us. We cook different food, German food, Arabian food, Syrian food, Turkish food, every food we do in here. On the walls you can see that we are also, as tools we use art and media. So those pictures, the real pictures, is a project Art and Labor Market. It was called Give Me a Picture of Your Job. And we had migrants and Germans and refugees and whoever to go work with business people and then make pictures about it, what they think the biggest thing was. The youngsters sold and paid in pictures and got the money for the next project. I think it starts with listening to their stories, the stories that tell you how they got here, how they lived in their hometown, and what happened to them until they got here. And that's how it happened. That's how it happens that they get trust, because they always tell us that not many people listen to them and not really get into their lives. So we listen to them and then we try to understand, and we also try to learn, because my colleagues and me, we think we can learn a lot from those people coming from different countries, different continents even. And then yes, we just listen to them and then they tell us what they want to do, and then we try to get to do those projects they want to do. And most of the times they just want to just talk. Then they want to dance. They want to be recognized as human beings and not as just refugees who are supposed to be integrated into the labor market or into society. They're just human beings. Yeah, and then we do many things with them together, what we love and they love, and then they trust us, and then it's okay. The biggest challenge is, of course, is the language, because I don't speak like Arabian or African, or none of us speak that language. But because of the history of this town where we have like 18 nations living here, and for a long time already, because we are close to the river Rhine, and wherever there is a river, there are always strangers, foreigners coming up. So we know people who speak those languages, and we have real translators and we have the virtual thing. We use the translator, not the Google translator, but there are some better translators, and then we get in contact. But that's really the biggest challenge we have, to really understand, especially when there are emotions, because emotions are very hard to speak about in a different language, or a language you don't know. The first dividers always listen to the refugees or the migrants, and they tell you what they want. And take the time, don't just develop, and don't do it for the refugees, but do it with them. That's the advice that's the only advice I can give. We always reflect with the people about it. How did you like that? Was it okay for you? And we do that with science, not with language. We developed some things about it, like we say, if you think it was good, you give it 5, and if you think it was bad, you do it like this. And then, plus you can feel it. After a while you can feel if the people always take part, if they're always there, and if they are really into the project, then you know that it couldn't have been wrong. Plus, out of one project, there come more. They start to be creative, they start to change the plan. If they start to change the plan, that's one thing we found out. If they start to change the plan, then they're really into it. Because then they want to do something and not just be the object, but the subject of the project. I think the political context is right now that we have a chancellor that, I'm going the way up, that says that they are welcome, the refugees are welcome, and there are political parties that say they are not welcome, but most of the people want the refugees here, and they have a welcome culture. So this is a very good thing to live in. The economical situation in Germany, I've got to admit, is also very good. So really, on the cultural situation, that's what I said in the former question, that in this town where I live, we have experience with people from other countries and from other continents for a long time here. And the people living here also have a good experience. They have bad experience that belongs to life, but most of the experiences are very well. So I can say we're having a good surrounding for us to work with refugees. First of all, listen to the people working with refugees, or also listen to the refugees and not do that on their own. The second one is keep the bureaucracy low. Don't make it such a big deal to get like €5 for a project. Just keep it down. So I think these are the things I could say. Plus, maybe I think some politicians should be more into talking to the refugees. Not to the refugees, but maybe to Sheila or Aisha or Ali or whoever, and not talk about them, but with them, and with the people working with them. We use like arts, drawing, painting, social media, working with those people, because they are into it, and in social media they're even better than we are. So this is a good tool, and they love it, and we love it, and they see that we can learn from them, and so these are very good tools to use to get in contact. This is our art room. They made those things. Here's also a picture of a refugee. They made those things. And then you can, and it was hanging from the ceiling. Yeah, you could go in there like this, and then you could listen to the music they choose to get into the role of those guys. And it was really exciting what the people said. Oh, I didn't think this guy would listen to that kind of music. He's from Syria. And he really listened to American music. We start giving language courses on a very low level. That's the start. And without telling them you have to learn the language to get into the labor market, just learn the language and have fun. We try to get the Aborigines of Germany and get them together with the refugees. make like buddies or tandems, we call it tandem. We have some people that like accompany some of the young refugees to an opera or to a theater and go with them and just take them, show them where they live. And I think that's our main work, to get them into society and get them together. And not integrate, I don't like the word integrate, but that they feel well, that everybody feels well about it, feels good about it when they're here. Here in Germany, some of the barriers in the labor market are, first of all, the language. You have to have the language. The next one is the certificates. In Germany, we love certificates, we love papers. So they always say, so what did you learn in your country? And we cannot explain to the enterprise, to the entrepreneurs and the people that when you go on your way from Syria to Germany, that the last thing you think about is about your certificate. Plus we have that thing, we have the dual system in Germany, and that's only in Germany and Switzerland, and I think they're starting it in France now, and it's not known in the other countries. So they come here and talk about university, but they learn like cooking in university. But in Germany, you don't learn cooking in university. You learn that by working in a restaurant. So that's a very big barrier. The next barrier for the labor market is the statute of residence. Not every refugee can go to work. You first of all have to have your approved statute of residence. You ask for it, and as long as it's not worked on, you cannot do anything. So, and it takes very long time in Germany to really for the decision makers to say you're allowed to stay here in Germany. We try to make friends with them. Although we are professionals, but we try to make friends and try to understand what happened to them. Just an example, we have a young guy, he's 18 years old. In Germany, when you're 18, you're already an adult, but not really. People just say, and he's living he's living without his family, so he's living in a youth home. The people there, they don't let him go to the disco because there might be drugs around. So we told them that they have to think about what that guy, he told us his story when he came from, and he's not from Syria, he's from Eritrea. He first went to Libya, and there he almost died, and then he went with a ship to Turkey, and then with from Turkey to Greece. And if you listen to those stories, then you know that maybe in his passport he's 18, but he has so many experiences that we shouldn't tell him not to go to a party, for example. Government and policymakers should be less bureaucratic, should listen more to the people working with the refugees, should listen more, if they can, to the refugees, and not just take things from the media or the papers. Because we always say the thing that's good in Berlin might not be good in Sinzig, because we are a different city.